Hello everyone. Cheshire the Cat on the scene with part 25 of Danganronpa, nearing the end, by the sounds of it. So it looks like there's going to be, what, 2 or 3 more episodes at most? We need to go see everybody, right?
Anyway.
We are now cornering the test? Test? What are we testing, Rad? Hello? Did I screw something up? I know Twitch Mobile was being weird. Yeah, we've cornered the Mastermind and now we need to expose them. Dude, I've been having the weirdest day. Oh? Well... what happened? I couldn't type anywhere for a solid 4 hours. Huh? Like, is something wrong with your phone or laptop or device? Alright, let's see. The remainders are... Byakuya. Byakuya's room. Is he inside?
Hey.
I think he's here. We need to keep looking. Well, this would be a good time to bring out my handy-dandy map and see who actually is here. Huh. Okay, what? Do I only have a map up to that point? I'm sorry, what? Can I not get up to the 2nd and 3rd floor? Are they on the dining hall? Don't know, but now I can. Huh. And suddenly we were greeted with... you again. Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability has reached its limit. Jeez. Ah, SOZ left.
However.
I wonder what that was about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief.
Is that Makoto?
Hey! I'm happy that Asahina's the one charging in front to greet me.
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto! Huh? You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Absolutely. You're not a ghost, right? And my voice mod still being all finicky. Weird. Alright, screw it, I guess. So, I guess for now, hold off on the voice mod redeems? Until I can figure out what's going on with that. That's weird. Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. Although that, I guess that's oddly enough a good thing since we're at the end of the game. On their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, like something seriously stinks. Makoto, he smells like a wet dog. Get away, shoot, shoot. Well, and in a flash, my tears dried up.
Makoto.
Indulge in an extended, happy reunion. You need to explain to everyone what happened with
Yes.
Monokuma. Explain? Explain what?
But is it okay for you to be here? What if the Mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all about the last class trial. Huh? The last class trial?
In other words.
We're going to redo Mukuro's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right?
No, I didn't do it, like I keep telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you.
Huh?
Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is, it was all the work of the Mastermind.
Huh?
What? You're saying the Mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the Mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to stop it.
However,
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
You spotted the trap, did you, Makoto? You make it sound like it was easy. I just,
however,
But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school's regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The Mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have a trial one more time.
huh?
And the Mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said, now it's the Mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean!
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here.
For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again, later. So, knowing all this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about who killed Mukuro, right? So our job is to expose the Mastermind? But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. So in this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
Huh?
Every last mystery?
But
We've been looking around all this time and we still don't know anything, right?
anyway,
You probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies.
Oh no!
Everyone!
I hate you.
Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine with living forever with Master. I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
Anyway,
At this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth.
Interesting.
In other words, one decisive final battle. A rather interesting development, I'd say. Still, welcome back, Avocado. But figuring out who the Mastermind is and how they killed Mukuro and all the school's mysteries.
It's a pretty tall friggin' order.
Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
indeed.
That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough of the puns. Here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people who take a single step into Hope's Peak Academy since the killing game began are those 16 students.
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? And Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable.
Huh?
But why?
So, in other words,
The Mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says. Then the Mastermind would have to have set foot into the school. Am I right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
in other words,
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who've been taking part in the killing game. Then the Mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the beginning. Add Mukuro and you get 16. So the Mastermind would have to be one of them?
that's right.
And of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now?
You're saying the Mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. Mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah. There's an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. Can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? Did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well,
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
but...
I don't care how sneaky you are, we would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand.
In that case, there's no way he could have had those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still. Oh.
This is a school announcement.
Hmm.
You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode.
Yeah, I'm back on Twitch. Decided to quit on me. Yeah, I noticed Twitch Mobile messing up again.
So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Thank you for the streamer care package. I'm gonna take that as a chance to stretch. Hydrate. God, my throat's dry. That was almost my food. And speaking of, I'm gonna take a slurp of my ramen. Hot, hot, hot. The streamer care package went a little too far. But thank you very much. All right. How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
Time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my family.
At this point, I can rely on myself, the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. He didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him? No, Master. The rest of you are like coffee with cream without the cream or the coffee. You're totally useless. So, bye. That Toko trudged out of the dining hall. And now she's gone. And you're gonna go off by yourself too, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity.
Gladly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves? What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. It just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died. And Makoto. That's really nice of you to say.
but...
Still, I know I've mostly been totally useless. You're not! You're emotional support!
Okay.
So I figure at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. See you later. Don't you all know that splitting up is how everybody dies in horror movies? Spreading high spirits as you dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just us
Indeed.
two. Indeed. Well, so you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kyoko?
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
So...
That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigating doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. So I should just see it as splitting up to cover more ground. So we can get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
So then...
I have an endless list of things I need to check.
Correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school had been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. Investigate all the places we couldn't before.
Makoto.
What it takes, we have to uncover the truth. By any means necessary. With that, Kyoko was gone, leaving only me. So either I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the Mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. And prove the Mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the Mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of this school. And then we can all escape together. So I'll start by taking another look at Mukuro's Monokuma file. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is on... Looks like a raid. Sakebishi, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to the final investigation of Danganronpa. We're actually in the last part of the game. But thank you for stopping by. Oh, the naivety. Can we get a shout out for Sakebishi? What were you streaming? The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Once we find out who killed Mukuro Ikusaba, then we'll know who the Mastermind is. So just start with the rooms that were locked up until now. The biolab, the door in the data center with Monokuma's face on it. Skyrim, she married Farkas. Ooh! Sounds fun. I'm glad! I haven't played Skyrim in a long time. I think I started streaming it, and then I got booed for playing vanilla. Which is why I put Morrowind as a series to vote on, because I just thought that'd be more interesting. After that, I'll have to double check the areas that are connected to the murder, which means the garden and the dojo. Time to get started. Places to check has been added to the truth bullet section of the handbook. There's a couple more places I want to look at too while I'm going around. So I'm going to start by making my way upstairs immediately. Glad to hear you were having fun. So let's see. The first place that I want to check was that secret room that was in the guy's room. I want to see if I can even get in there anymore. Because if I can, that does make for part of the school. Probably avoid going in and out of there so much. Oh, fine, you big wimp. She made songs, we had disco arm, she killed herself in happiness, a lot of stuff happened. I'm sorry, what? Killed herself in happiness? Beg the pardon? Also, whoops, I went too far. Where are those stairs? Why is this music so awesome? This really must be... Scream into the void. Hey, Alyssa, you don't jump off a cliff when you're happy? No, I don't. Also, I swear to God, I'll murder you. I'll allow that. Sorry. Sorry I had to give permissions for that. Also, for those that do voice mod redeems, like Scream into the Void and stuff, my voice mod program for some reason is like frozen, but not frozen. It's just having a hard time buffering right now. So I'm afraid the Scream into the Void's gonna be a bit wimpy this time. But, and an ada-ada. You're gonna make me do an ada-ada right now? Alright. For those who have sensitive ears, better cover them. Here we go. Ara-ara, o kawaii koto ne. There, I did it. I hope you're happy. What's going on? I'm sorry, Maddie. Were you expecting me to not tease you when you redeemed that? Still can't post it. Oh, can someone give Eric permission? Also, wait a moment. Let me make sure we got the... we did not get the shout-out for Sake. If I can type, it'd be great. Dude, legit just said don't post. Give me a second. There we go. And boom. Okay, there you go. Alright, let's see this. Ah! Oop, sorry. I clicked the wrong thing. Editor, edit this out. Let me hear this. Also, Sake, don't feel bad. I've done that too, actually. Alright, enough distraction. Let's get on with it. Alright, let's get back up to the 4th floor. Oh my god. That was great. Alright, first things first, data center. Ah, Makoto, are you here to look around too? Is that what you're doing here? Yeah, I can't help but wonder about that Monokuma door. So I figured if all the doors in school have been unlocked, that means this one should open too, right? Although I couldn't bring myself to open it. Because it might explode, right? And that really sucks, so you open it! I'm sure she didn't mean it, but she made it sound like she was okay with me getting blown up. Say, alright, let's get up to the 4th wall. Okay, guess I'll open it. Wait, let me take cover first. I don't want to get exploded. Alright. You have a fun rest of your stream. Thank you, Ozku. Thank you so much! I had a great time meeting you in VR chat, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, go ahead. Everything will be okay, right? Okay, here goes nothing. But the door opened much easier than I expected. Huh? There was no explosion, thankfully. My first impression was... Whoa, this place is totally sci-fi! $5 she does want to get exploded. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. What is this device? Looks like some kind of control panel. It's really over the top though, like some kind of military installation or something. It's like a mech cockpit, right? Ifumi'd probably freak out if he saw it. Cockpit? So the Monokuma control panel that looks like some kind of cockpit. Then could that mean...
Okay.
Alright, let's start poking at whatever. I'm gonna start pushing buttons. Hold on, don't... You can't just or whatever something like this. But it was too late. I started jabbing away at the control panel. Huh? Did you hear that? Yeah, I think it came from the other room. Hina, what did you push? I'm not totally sure, but I think it was that one. The button that says Data Center. Data Center? Need to consume food now, then sleep before happy death. We have a wonderful stream. Thank you for the shout out. Of course! Happy to have you here. Took a good look at the control panel, and I saw a bunch of buttons, each with a name on the room next to it. Seriously, how did cockpits get their overly inappropriate name? might have been because most pilots were guys at the time. It's like Hina said, there was one labeled data center. We're all 5-year-olds. That must be the one she pushed. But the data center, that's right next door. The room we were just in, that's where the strange noise came from. Probably better go check it out. Ignore the heart eye emoji. Peace. You can just press whatever. It would definitely be our last words if I was not there. Yes, please. I'm kind of scared out of my mind right now, so I'll just cheer you on from over there. Guess there's gonna be an unmanned Monokuma. Did I just hear what I think I heard? Is that Monokuma? Hey! Roar! Give me all your donuts! Is that you, Hina?
What?
Ah, what? Aw, man, busted. How did you know?
Say what?
Anyway, what is this? Some kind of remote control camera kind of setup? Didn't even know what you're controlling?
Hello.
I mean, I can't really see anything from in here.
Found it.
I guess what I found, a self-destruct button. Whatever you do, don't push it.
Too bad.
Aw, man. Were you seriously gonna push it? Anyway, I guess that settles it. The room with the Monokuma drawing on it and the control panel inside. It's all for Monokuma. Whoa, hey Makoto, what the heck was that just now? Monokuma. Huh? What do you mean? What you were controlling just now, it was Monokuma. Monokuma. What, for real? Yep, looks like the panel definitely controls Monokuma. Which means the Mastermind has been controlling Monokuma from this room. Yeah, they were definitely in here. The Mastermind's been controlling Monokuma from this room. And this room is totally separate from the data center with all the monitors. In other words,
Hey,
maybe the Mastermind can't monitor us and control Monokuma at the same time. Kyoko's theory was right. But if the Mastermind's been controlling Monokuma from here, that means they've been inside the school this whole time, right? I guess that would have to be true. But if that is true... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough with the puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but the killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. It's extremely sus. I mean, given how perverted Monokuma can be at times, it wouldn't surprise me if that was his publisher, shall we say. No, it can't be. There's no way, right? I don't like that face you're making. Oh, no. It's nothing. I think Gen Z would make. Okay. What about you? Is everything okay?
I mean,
Well, it's where the Mastermind's been hiding, right? Who knows if they set up traps or something? Can't say it's impossible, but I really hope it's not true. So, like, want to leave soon? There's still lots of other places to check out. Yeah, good point. Can't waste our time standing around here. Want to get going? Yeah. To close, I heard a strange sound. What was that? Door! It just locked on its own. What? At the doorknob. You're right, it's locked, but why? Of course it's locked, because the data center is now restricted! Monokuma?
just a second.
Hey, no fair. You can't go around restricting whatever you feel like. It's for your benefit. Because if that room stays open, I won't be able to move around. Imagine how depressed everyone would get if the school mascot just up and stopped moving. Then that room.
Yeah.
As you may have guessed, that's where my controls are. So right now, you're being operated by someone in that room.
Yes, indeed.
Correctamundo!
You're a liar.
But that doesn't make any sense. We were just in there and we didn't see anyone. Oh, you didn't, did you? Are you sure you were as thorough as you could have been? Did you happen to check a certain suspicious hatch? No way! The hatch on the floor? Too bad! That was your one big chance and you blew it!
Too bad.
Of course, the hatch can't be opened from the outside anyway, so whatever. Now then, this room is officially restricted, so no more investigating. I'll be relying on you guys to tell the others. Peace out! He's gone, but
So,
is he telling the truth? Is the mastermind hiding in there? I missed a lot. In fact, if you think back to when we got locked out of the control room, that proves it for sure. Then when I said we should leave, well, the hatch couldn't be opened from the outside anyway, right? So it's not your fault. How do you see a hatch in the floor and try not to open it?
sorry.
I think they were more focused on the fact that it was controlling Monokuma. Anyway, we don't have to let it get to us. We have to stay positive and make the most of the time we have left. You're right. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's keeping my body moving.
Okay.
I'm gonna run around and tell everyone what we found here. Nice, you got me all motivated
You
again.
got it.
Alright, I'm out. See you later. And I have to do what I can too. It's the only way forward. So, to the headmasters. Hey, that sword from before. This is the headmaster's room. But when you find the person that's controlling him? Yeah. Probably panicked. I heard an awful lot about it, but this will be my first time seeing it for myself. Ah, Makoto, it's you. Oh, Byakuya. I'm going to see anything that's more important in this room. There are trophies and a shield in the display case. There are documents scattered all over the floor. It somehow makes me feel anxious.
Come on.
Hey, Makoto!
Not possible.
Are you ignoring me? You think I'll forgive you just because you're you? Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to exist in your presence, Your Highness? Am I worthy of your financial status and your absolute prodigy standard? Am I able to have an opinion and speak in front of you? You absolute, pompous, arrogant son of a...
Such ignorance.
When we get out of here, remember this moment. Alright, fine, pretty boy. What do you want? Well, you came to the right place this time. Would you like to see something interesting? What do you mean, something interesting? Take a look at this. It was on top of the pathetically ostentatious desk. Oh, and I have to use big words? Class number 78 student registry. It contains profiles for all of us and
So in
Makoto.
other words,
Apparently class 78 refers to us. Wait, when we found Makuro's profile in Kyoko's room...
I see.
That's right. It also mentioned class 78. It must be where Kyoko got the page. And since the rest of our profiles are listed in there along with
In
hers,
other words,
there can be no doubt that Makuro here was a student at Hope's Peak Academy, just like the rest of us. Makuro Ikusaba, the 16th student. That must be how Kyoko learned about it. But it seems like Kyoko was in a hurry. What do you mean? I'm talking about when she stole it. The uneven tearing, the paper had been crumpled, and she must have been in a hurry. Well, since she snuck in to get it, I'm sure she wanted to get it out as fast as possible. But what's your point? She was in so much of a hurry, she only got the first page. The first page? Correct. Makuro's profile actually contains 2 pages.
so in other words,
In other words, when it comes to this profile, there was more information about Makuro that we still didn't have. Are you about to do something useful, pretty boy? What kind of information is it? What has me to explain every little thing? You can read, can't you? Can you be the mastermind just so I can throw you out of the school? You Seems to be some sort of detailed report put together by the headmaster himself.
Interesting.
I don't know what kind of a man he was, but I'm glad he left us such an interesting clue. I was half listening to Byakuya as I skimmed through the report. Mukuro reappeared suddenly, and in the background, an entity floats close but just out of reach. The entity known as the Ultimate Despair. Right now, I can't be sure if this is a single person or some kind of group. Whatever it is, Mukuro definitely has some sort of connection to it. I have a bad feeling about all this. I need to push forward with my research into the Ultimate Despair. And I need to pay attention to Mukuro's behavior, too. This is just my gut feeling, but I think she's dangerous. Despite the countless battles she must have gone through as a member of Fenrir, when she entered Hope's Peak, she didn't display any signs of battle wounds or scars. That fact alone proves her tremendous skill in battle. Sorry, I hunger and my noodles get too big. Naturally, I want to believe in her. She's one of my students, after all. But if I decide she's a danger to the other students, I will be forced to take all reasonable measures. Mukuro was a part of the Ultimate Despair. I don't think there can be any doubt about it now. But wouldn't that mean Mukuro and the Mastermind were allies? So why? Why would they kill Mukuro? Plus, even the Headmaster seemed to be afraid of what Mukuro was capable of. They would have had to take her completely by surprise to kill her like that. Or maybe it means the Mastermind is even stronger than Mukuro was. What's wrong, Makoto? Huh?
That's fine.
You seem to be lost in thought. But I should probably point out one other thing. There's another important bit of information within the file you hold. Did you notice the picture in there? A picture of a girl perhaps you've never seen before. A girl who appears to be included in our class 78. That should be enough for you to figure out who the girl is. And further information about that girl is included in the file. 5 foot 7 inches, 97 pounds, and it even lists her vitals, 31, 22, 32. Well, what do you think? Asking me like as if she has a nice body?
Stop talking.
You hopeless idiot. What I'm trying to tell you is that you'll want to keep that information in mind for later. Maybe you'll make your way back to the corpse and think, oh, could that mean? There's a chance the body isn't actually Mukuro. Is that what he's saying? Personally, what I'm thinking seems all but impossible, but it wouldn't hurt to
It's
confirm,
all clear
right?
now.
That's all I was trying to say. What you do with that information is your business. So I'm back to being Byakuya's errand boy. What do you know? He actually helped me out. Oh, and one last thing. A last bit of advice from me to you, so I suggest you pay attention. Advice from me? You seem to be getting along with Kyoko quite well. So that we're getting along, she's just done a lot to help me. Well, don't put too much faith in her.
In other words,
The cost of that faith might be more than you can afford. What are you saying? Just what I think. Call it a hunch. A hunch. But my hunches tend to be proven right. The advice is free this time. Take it or don't, as you will. Keep that in mind, thanks. I'm still taking this with me. You could use a report of all the students. It does. Yeah. It's my killer. Yeah, if it's giving me the choice to leave the area, then I've done all the investigating I can in there. Anything in here, mayhaps? Hello? And there's all the flowers signaling that everyone's dead. No random stray picture this time? Wasn't the chemistry lab wasn't locked. The biology room was. I should also check out the garden again. And the dojo. I think what I'll do is I'll start at the dojo and then I'll go full circle. Oh, Toko, so this is where you were.
What do you want?
What do you want? Am I so disgusting you want me out of your sight? No, that's not it at all. I just thought maybe you'd found a clue. Well, I haven't. Didn't find anything, not one single clue. I figured since this place was related to the case, it would have something, right? But there wasn't anything out of the ordinary here. Give it back! Give me back my precious time! Calm down, Toka.
What's your problem?
Just don't tell me to calm down. You have any idea what I'm going through right now? When everyone finds out, they're gonna call me useless, good for nothing. Nobody's gonna say that. Master will! I'm not sure I can disagree with that one. I don't want that. I'm sick of always being looked down on. Why won't anyone accept me? Well, I don't think there are any clues here, so maybe I'm gonna get going. Ah! Another one more. Found a clue in there, but it was just the mastermind's attempt to frame Kyoko. Amazing. Go with a bow and arrow. I'm still getting coins. Really nothing here. Well, let's check out the body. Huh? It's gone. Makuro's body. It's not here? Monokuma flower. Is it true? Does it really eat paper, plastic, and people? I think it's related to the case, so I better keep my distance. There's still 4 chickens left. Honestly, I'm kind of terrified if there were more than that. Maybe the body's inside the tool shed. I'd better check just to be sure. I didn't find anything even close to that body, but if it's not here, then it must be... Corpses aren't the only thing I need to check here. There's one other thing. That tarp. Tarp played a key role in the other case, so I'd better look into it. The killer used the tarp to keep the sprinklers from getting the body wet, which means the killer might have left some clue here. Huh? I didn't notice this before, but there's a small stamp in one corner of the tarp. It says Biolab. And this originally came from the Biolab? Alright, well... yeah. How is this a fair trial if we can't double check the body? That's all I really needed to check here, but where could her body have gone? Better start looking for it. Well, there's only one room left, and that's the Biolab. Why would they write the word raw in here anyway? Ugh. Well, here I am in the Biolab. God, it's so cold! It's like abnormally cold. I feel like I'm in a giant refrigerator. Seriously, why is it so cold? Cold. Why is it so cold in these? That's the first thing I need to figure out. Some kind of weird machine or something built into the wall. I've seen something like this before. Oh, that's it. I've seen this kind of thing in horror movies and stuff. It's a fridge for storing dead bodies. Does that mean the Biolab is actually a morgue? I should probably take a closer look around. I'm gonna be able to investigate all of them, huh? Something built in the wall. Inside is a bunch of glowing blue lights, but only some of the lights are on. The ones on the left, the right-handed ones are off. Oh, there's some kind of booklet here. It looks like an instruction manual. We offer an eco-friendly alternative to the standards of dry ice for all your cadaver needs. In addition, the germicidal lamps, we provide the ozone generator for removal of ethylene gas. Simply insert the cadaver and the blue light will let you know if the automated systems have activated. Temperature and humidity levels will be adjusted automatically for optimum settings. With our system, anyone can keep a body fresh as a daisy for as long as you need. In the unlikely event of a problem, the red light will activate and the alarm will sound immediately. The exterior is stainless steel, so we do offer optional leather upholstery upgrade package. This is an instruction manual for the fridge? Looking around, I think I get it. It's clear to me now. It's some kind of a makeshift morgue. And about those lights by each slot, it looks like it's set up so that when a slot is occupied, the blue light comes on. Which would mean each slot lit up blue is another one of the victims is. I can't let my emotions take control right now. The only thing I can do for everyone who's died, and that's to defeat the Mastermind. And to do that, I have to continue my investigation. I don't have any other option. And here's the tarps. I've seen a lot of those things lately. Yeah, so... is there one in particular? Bicycles hanging from the monitor. Nothing in there? Really? And does that mean since Makoto's body disappeared from the garden, could it be in here? I need to check, but I have no idea how to open this thing. Well, that's what the pamphlet's for. Can you open them? That's what I need to figure out. No, that's not what I wanted to click. Yeah, it's an instruction manual. Fridge. Maybe something new will turn up? Did I miss a room? More than that, where's Kyoko? So everyone is clearly here. So there's more... is there more in the garden that maybe I missed? I'm gonna go downstairs and see if I can find Kyoko. Or Byakuya. Maybe there's a room I didn't look into? Come to think of it, where are they? Alright. And I can't get into the secret room from the second floor again. There wasn't anything that was really, like, closed off in this area, though. So that's the weird part. Was there maybe something on the first floor that I missed? Whoop. I meant to hit this. No, nothing here. Blah, 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 blah. So that just leaves... Come to think of it, there's another dormitory, isn't there? How do we get to that? A map would be nice. Like an actual map. Hello. How you doing today, Marcus? So where would this second dorm be? Alright. Take me back to the 5th floor then? Let's check out the biolab again. What have I not investigated? Come on. Blue lights, let's run. One to the left, blah, blah, blah. We know this. And that's it. You got nothing more to say. Did I screw up somehow? I'm gonna try the dojo again, double back and see who I can find. What else is there to investigate? Alright, well, nothing in the garden. Maybe Byakuya knows something. Am I actually about to ask pretty pompous boy for help? Hey, Byakuya.
I don't have time to play with you.
Yeah, no. You must talk to it to someone else. God, he's so blunt. Just makes you feel hopeless. Sheesh. Maybe there's some document about those? Okay, then. Not it, and the data center's been locked, so what the heck? Where else do you want me to go? Because I can't get into there anymore. Dojo. Biolab. Gym entryway. I'm actually confused. Hold on, wasn't there like a super messed up classroom on the 5th floor? I'll try the tool shed again. Where's Kyoko anyway? I figured out that that's from the biolab. Weren't there... Maybe I'm going crazy. Stream a care package. Thank you, Oni! I'll take that as a chance to slurp up some ramen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hydrate and a stretch. Hey, Oni. I am in the last investigation, and I am thoroughly confused. I think it's related to the case. Crazy diamond, thing on his coat. It's connected, but... What am I missing? Is that an Oni? Observation. Yeah. Hey, Elefante. What, am I supposed to, like, wave to the camera? It seems confusing. That's happened to me so many different games. Oh, and no evidence to be found here. So the only thing that makes sense is something in here. Surprised surveillance camera can work with how cold it is in here. Yeah. I investigated all that though. So, what? 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 I have absolutely no direction on where to go. Let me see. Let me check my items here. Tarp? I checked the tarp. Biolab, data center, store with Monokuma logo. Second floor dorms. That's what I'm trying to figure. Where are the second floor dorms? That's the only place here. I'm gonna get to the second floor myself. So where would this... Hey, Cheshire, I'm back from the grave. Hey, yeah, long time no see. You doing all right? I was worried about you. Where would the second floor dorms be? Let's see, given the layout of the school, there's the library. The library's massive, but 2B? No. Alright, fine. I guess we'll check the library. Maybe there's a shortcut through there? I feel so dumb. I just realized how to get to the second floor dorms. Go. There's another stairwell. Where was it? 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 Somewhere around here. Okay, I'm back. Welcome back, Oni. Yeah, I think it's these. Okay, it's open. We can finally check out the second floor dorms. I want to help us. I have to do it. This is the second floor dorms? It's like some kind of ancient ruins. Or more like a battlefield, like a bomb blew up here or something. Bed is completely torn apart. I mean, it's not even really a bed anymore, it's just garbage. I opened the door just a crack, glanced inside, and immediately closed it again. There wasn't even a hint of a bathroom, just a big pile of rubble. Nothing to investigate in the desk, though, huh? Alright, well... Only a girl's and a boy's room, huh? This is a girl's bathroom. Even a place like this, I can't bring myself to go in. Well then, fine. Oh, there's nothing to actually investigate in here. Wow, a normal room. How about that? What the crap? This room is filled with lockers. They must have been for Hope's Peak students who came before us. The class before ours must have used these lockers. Getting this locker open. I'm not even gonna bother trying. Open this one. Nope, locked. There's a card reader installed on the door. This must be how they get the locker open. After all, it's pretty similar to the card readers. Yeah. And you have to use your Handbook to open those up. So what does that mean? And then, no luck. Maybe only the locker's owner can open it, which means none of us can do it. So I need to find one of these is going to be mine. So I can open one of them. And... dang it. Card reader, da-da-da-da-da, and... nope. Doggone it. It's gotta be one of them. The handbook, so what does that mean? And... dang it. Am I gonna... I believe in you. Ugh. Nope, locked. There's a card reader installed on the door. Da-da-da-da-da. After all, we're similar, and... dang it. Really? Yeah, there's no way to get this locker open. Well, crap, I guess I can't open any of them. Alright then. Hello. Is this area blue? What's this? Haha, Streamlabs, you fool! What the? This room doesn't really feel like a student's room. It has a more adult atmosphere. Kyoko!
Indeed.
I've been through this room several times already, but I still have one little regret. So I decided to check it out one more time. Regret? There's a PC on the desk. It must have belonged to the headmaster.
It would seem...
I swear there was one other locker. Yeah, wouldn't there be one from Makoto? Movies just looks like they were interested in the Ultimate Despair. PC still has some research left on it. Though he might be able to get some info on the Ultimate Despair.
However,
There's not much, though. Nothing we don't already
in
know.
other words,
Ultimate Despair isn't one individual, but instead points to some kind of group. A group responsible for the tragedy which happened 1 year ago. They're the worst sorts of people, whose driving force comes from despair.
however,
And that's all there is. Not much to it, is there? But I guess the best he could do is a complete Kitty failure. So that's right, I have us read. Right. I appreciate whatever we can get our hands on. Let's see. That's a good outlook you have. Ultimate Despair. Yeah, it's more than one person. Kyoko looks almost meek right now. She must be thinking about something I probably shouldn't bother her. I swear there was one other. One I didn't try. I don't think I'm done here quite yet. Well, it's not gonna give me the choice to leave. Huh? There's a strange gap in the wall. Did I mistake or a...
so
There's a gap here, but it's not just a normal gap. I can feel a breeze coming out.
indeed.
There's likely an open space on the other side of this wall. Like a hidden room? I think I might know how to open it. Did you figure out some kind of trick or something?
Indeed.
Very easy trick. So easy, I'm not sure you can even call it a trick. I saw a program on the PC that controls it. Enter the right password, the door should open up.
However,
But I don't have a clue what the password might be. All we know is that it's probably made up of letters and or numbers. We can't really go from there. Yeah,
It's
not
true.
nearly enough to go on. I looked through his paperwork and all the files on the PC, and everything I could think of. I learned more about him than I had the desire to, but nothing that might have been his password. When I think of how much time I wasted on this... Jeez. So there's a hidden room she couldn't get into, and that's what she meant by regret. I think we can assume there must be some kind of clue waiting in there. But maybe for her, there's more to it than that. Anyway, if we want to get in there, we need to be able to figure out the password. And if Kyoko can't figure it out, no way do I stand it. No, wait. There might be a chance. Something Kyoko wouldn't have thought of, or something she didn't want to think of. What about your name?
what?
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of what the password might be. I'm sure she hasn't tried it. I mean, it's totally understandable. After the way she talked about her dad, the idea that he would use her name as his password Knowing how she is, I bet the idea never even occurred to her. Do you mind if I try it, just to be sure?
Well,
It's not like you need my permission. If you want to try it, try it. Do whatever you want. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna cry. It might hurt, but if that's not it, that might just hurt Kyoko even more.
hey,
If you're worried about me, Makoto, don't be. I already know your guess is wrong. Okay, then. In that case, here goes nothing. It's a computer monitor. Let me just type the password here. I typed out her full name, Kyoko Kirigiri. What? That did it? Kyoko, it worked!
why?
Kyoko? Without looking at me, she disappeared into the hidden room. She looked grim. Kyoko? She really doesn't want to accept that. Oh. Hey, Kyoko? I may as well have not even been in the room. Her gaze fixed solely on one thing. Present? Wrapped and covered with such joy. That's what made it so unusual. I'd rather... Yeah, okay, fine. There's a brightly colored box here. It seems totally out of place in here. The more I look at it, the more suspicious I get. Should I reopen it? Kind of a bad vibe from it. But I mean, we can't not open it. Okay.
Makoto.
Be careful, Makoto. Why? You think it's dangerous? No, not dangerous. But surprising, probably. Huh?
It would seem...
If this is what I think it is, at the very least, it's not something you'll be happy to see. So you know what's in here?
Anyway,
Just don't scream or anything, okay? Are you saying something that'll make me want to scream? Okay, I'm just gonna open it. Step and approached the box. I took a deep breath and then took hold of the lid. Slowly I lifted it up, and light began to sneak into the box. I stole a hesitant glance inside and... Kyoko's advice was no use. I let out a trembling cry. Oh god! What was in the box? It was bones. Human bones. It's the last thing I expected to find in such a bright, joyful box. I mean, who could have possibly imagined...
I see.
Just as I thought. I mean, those are bones in there. Human... Well, it's not that I was thinking of the bones specifically. I just had a feeling it would be his body. The dead guy. My father.
Correct.
What you found in the box? Those bones? That body? That's my father. Or at least, what's left of him. Serious? This is Kyoko's dad? The guy that was killed at the start of the game. The same man she's been searching for. Hold on! How can you know that for sure? How do you know that's him?
So...
Given all the information we have already, that's the only possible answer. So that same person may very well be the mastermind who planned this all out. And according to files, the headmaster is a man in his late 30s. That he's somewhere in the school right now. Polarizing approach, but enough puns, so here's the hint. The killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. So, since the game began, the headmaster was already gone. Probably here in the school. But the only ones who were alive at the start of the killing game were us 16 students. Those two ideas together, it doesn't take much to assume
In other words,
that most likely my father was in the school, but he was already dead. That's my assumption, anyway. Calm. Oh no, she wasn't calm. She was only trying to seem calm. She said it would just as she thought, so she knew it was a possibility. But I have to believe at some point she wanted to be proven wrong, which is why she never looked in the box herself, even though she had plenty of chances. I know Kyoko said she wanted to see her father so she could cut off all ties, but was that all there was to it? I gave up some of that pride. In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. Would she really give up her pride just for that? I couldn't help but wonder. Huh? This picture. It's all faded. It must be pretty old. Wait, is this a picture of... Hey, Kyoko! Ooh,
Why would you?
this is annoying. You mean to cut myself free of the past, and yet... Now I find something like this. So what do you expect me to do now? Then I was right. It's a picture of Kyoko when she was a little girl. Knowing the headmaster had this picture all this time, he must have really cared about her.
Why?
Why? What? I wanted to face him and tell him myself, to cut him out of my life for abandoning me. That's the whole reason I came here. And now he's abandoned me again. And this time, he even stole the only opportunity I had to move on. Has there ever been a worse father? Kyoko. This filing cabinet seems to be the kind of place you'd find a clue. I should take a closer look. But I don't think Kyoko would like some stranger like me touching through her dad's stuff.
Hey,
So, it's fine. Check whatever you want. What's up, Oni? Okay, then. Store one by one, starting from the top. But all I found were piles of unrelated documents. Kyoko has daddy issues, too? Yeah, I wonder. Pretty dedicated to his job, huh?
well,
It's just because he didn't have anything else. He could have inherited our family business, our legacy. Instead, he left it all behind.
now,
If he couldn't even handle a job like this, he would have been that much more of a failure. I'm sure he couldn't stand the thought of that, and it made him desperate. It's probably hiding some kind of clue, so I really want to check it out, but
hey,
don't worry about me. Feel free to look around as much as you like.
because...
Sure. Never let anything get in the way of an investigation. I don't. Alright, then if you don't mind. Starting from the top, I opened all the desk drawers and looked inside. I rummaged through each one, finding nothing but unrelated documents. But in the last drawer... Huh? What's this? It's an e-handbook, right? And the label on it says, in case of emergency. I found some kind of emergency handbook in the headmaster's
In other
desk.
words,
A handbook with no limitations given to the school's ultimate authority, the headmaster. Those lockers! I'm assuming that's what it is. I think you're probably right.
it would seem...
It might prove useful as we continue our investigation. Why don't you hold on to it? But Kyoko, I don't need it. If you don't want it, go ahead and leave it here. Then I guess I'll take it.
Hey,
Listen, Makoto? Huh? Can I ask you a favor? A favor? What is it?
so...
I know it's completely unreasonable to ask you this. And I know it'll only inconvenience you that much more, but
Hey,
could you leave?
correct.
Just for a little while. I just like to be alone for a bit. Kyoko. Don't worry. I'm fine. I just need to calm down a little.
Just a second.
I need to get my emotions in order. You know, Kyoko? You told me before about the relationship you had with your dad. How you're only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. But maybe that picture motivated him, and he hoped to see you again. Is that what you're going to say? If so, it's just a theory. And this isn't an issue that can be settled with theories. That picture doesn't change the facts of what happened, what I went through. Ah!
The berries, I appreciate every cent.
Danganronpa TM my pog.
Thank you for the biddy, Ember, and welcome. Yeah, welcome to the ending of Danganronpa. Looks like I'm going to be beating it today. And your boys got ramen. You're right. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Once I've got myself under control, I'll return to the investigation immediately. So please, just give me some time to myself. Okay. I understand. Then, I'll see you later. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Is she really okay? Kyoko, must have been a complete shock to her. I mean, it was a shock to me. Find out what happened to the Headmaster. There's no doubt the Mastermind performed that evil deed. They killed the Headmaster and killed Kyoko's father. I mean, there's more than one Danganronpa game. Yeah, but this is the ending of the first game. They killed him. The Headmaster is dead. Yeah, we confirmed that. Handle this out. School right now. We were wrong about that. The Headmaster wasn't the Mastermind. Which means the Mastermind's true identity is... yeah, one of the 16 students. 15 of us met in the main hall, and Makuro to the mix, and you get 16. Including me, only 6 of us are still alive. Everyone else is dead. Even Makuro. Even though she's undeniably dead. The ones still left alive are... me. Byakuya. Scream into the void. Is voice mod loading? Voice mod is still not loading. So... I'll give you a different echoed sound for free. Will it count as a scream into the void if it was done from the wrong end? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my voice mod, but I'll have to figure that out when the stream ends. Hero? Of course that happens with Hero on the screen, by the way. Toko. Hina. And Kyoko. Only those 6 people are still alive. Then there's no question. Wait, no, that can't be! Just believe it, there has to be some other way. There just has to be. Yeah. Let's try those lockers again. Now that we have the Headmaster's Handbook, maybe we can break into them. From left to right. This locker. Oops, locked. It's a card reader installed on the door. After all, it's pretty similar to the card readers on the second floor at school. And you have to use your e-handbook. So what does that mean? Let's just give it a try. And then buzz. Summon a spirit. That's another one that is a voice mod. Wait, but yeah, okay. So now I've got the Headmaster's thing. Wait, give me 1 second. Maybe I can reboot it here. Do. Do. Hi, back. Welcome back. I'm trying to get my voice mod application to work so that I can do redeems. In the meantime, I'm gonna just slurp this up. Alright. So, Ember Flame, for that one I'll give you a free Ada Ada, Ledo Lodo, or Uwu. Because it looks like Voice Mod, the program itself, just derped in a really hard way. So I'd have to, like, get into my task manager stuff and figure that out. So I'm really sorry about that. I don't care which one. Eldorado sounds cool. I don't have an Eldorado. I said Lero Lero. Then again, it ain't my redeems. Yeah, Lero Lero is in like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You know what? Yeah, I'll do that one then. Lero 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 lero. Cacoin! Alright. So there you go, there's a free Lero Lero. But what about the emergency handbook I found in the Headmaster's hidden room? Okay, let's give it one more try. Took the emergency handbook and ran across the card reader and... Alright, that's just what I was hoping for. Now let's see what we've got inside. The locker is totally disorganized. Whoever belongs to probably has the organization problems in every part of his life. And all this clairvoyance stuff... This is a crystal ball. Can't be. There's no way he'd ever use this locker. It's just not possible. And those are gonna be tarot cards, right? No, they're tarot cards. Yeah. It's just a coincidence, right? There's dust everywhere. Kick. Here's one of the notebooks I saw when I looked inside the notebook. So I had English. Any sense of easiness I may have had evaporated. Yasuhiro Hagakure. What? There's no denying what I saw. The book was written to Yasuhiro Hagakure. Is this our Yasuhiro? It contained a large number of notes on a variety of different classes, which would mean he attended classes here. No, that can't be possible. And Hiro came to this school at the same time as the rest of us. When we were all sucked to this world, we never had a chance to take any classes. So, what is this notebook? Let's keep trying the others. Handbook, run across the locker, and... what we got inside? Don't see anything that might be a clue. The thing is practically empty. There's just one thing, some kind of a pocketbook. I don't see a name written on it, so I can't say for sure who it is. But there's some writing inside, it could be important. I don't like violating the owner's privacy, but I better take a look. It looks like a girl's handwriting. And the letters are spaced out evenly, like whoever wrote them was measuring them. Whoever wrote this must have been very meticulous. Huh? The pocketbook, but my hand froze when we got to a certain page. I saw something familiar written there, words I'd heard before. There's a plan to turn Hope's Peak into a shelter and isolate the students in the communal life. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. It just so happens to be the headmaster and my father. He was willing to give me some more details regarding the plan. Here's what he said. The point is to keep our student prodigies safe, to keep them as our hope for the future. Only their geniuses can overcome the disaster, and only their hope can overcome despair. For the future of our country, our world, it's not an exaggeration. We call this our final hope. We must isolate the superior youth from the corrupted world to serve as the foundation for a new era. This is the only hope we have. I hope that you'll be willing to go along with this plan. So that's what my father had to say to me. As usual, he made a selfish decision without consulting anyone else. I can't imagine a worse father. It can't be true, can it? But I knew it was, and I knew exactly who the pocketbook belonged to. Kyoko. It couldn't be anyone else. But if this belongs to Kyoko, what's it doing in this locker? And what she wrote here completely contradicts what she already told me. She said she hasn't seen her dad since he left when she was little. Thank you for the hug, brain rot. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. So my father. What does this all mean? Notebook. I must have been looking for something that would prove me wrong about this whole thing. But when I reached the last page, the question mark spinning through my mind just started spinning that much faster. When I looked at it, unlike the rest of the pocketbook, the writing there was messy, disorganized, and scrawled. Despair walks among us. What is this? What does it mean? I have no idea. How could this possibly make any sense? Despair walks among us, and so we survive. There is a second despair. So at some point, they figured out... Is being traumatizing their chat? I'm sorry, wait, what's Maddie doing? Or what's Blue doing? God, Blue. Had to belong to previous students, right? So why am I seeing this? Why are there lockers that look like they belong to people here? A notebook seems like it belongs to Hiro, and a pocketbook that belongs to Kyoko. Blue be traumatizing the chat. Oh, what did they do? Some kind of explanation. But if I want to find that out, I have to keep moving the investigation forward. I have to believe in everyone. Blah 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 blah. I can't spell today. Blue. Yeah. Look, there's a reader out. Nope, got the side. Nope, don't see anything that could be a clue. What about this one? Said goodbye right into the... Oh. Funny how Blue always acts so dominant when I'm not around. Let's see inside. Don't see anything that might be a clue. Alright, one more. I don't see anything that might be a clue. Alright, any of these, maybe? Can't bother trying. It's already broken. I got all those.
This is a school announcement. Is everyone working hard? Is your investigation coming along nicely? Well then, since you're all giving it your best, your generous headmaster will give you a little hint. For those of you who are interested, please make your way to the gym ASA possible.
What?
Every sight.
Oh, I think the text-to-speech won't read that out loud. What can I say? Bottom header gives a big... Yeah, I even had a whole Discord server. I think I was... Elefante. You're cute. Now he wants to give us a hint? It's suspicious. There's no doubt about that. This could be a trap. But even knowing that... He said to go to the gym, right? Thank you for the care package. Uno reverse. Nah, I can't Uno reverse me. I'm the cat. Ah, there's a hydrate. Stretch. Stretch. Oh. And posture's good. Oh, hey, hero. Makoto! Why do you act so surprised? Oh, no reason. You heard Monokuma's announcement, right? Are you here to find out what he has to say? I just did, actually. I'm on my way out. You already talked to him? What'd he say? Listen, sorry, but I gotta go. He's a sussy baka. I can if I have my point. Don't you dare. Hero, wait. There's no point trying to stop him. He ran off like a frightened animal. Hero? It's like he was trying to avoid me. I was hoping to talk to him about the notebook I found in the locker. Has he been hiding something this whole time? Thank you for the trauma of me having to read that. What? Having to read what?
I am Monokuma!
Hello, welcome, hello. Are you ready for your final hint? Well, it just so happens to be in the envelope on the ground in front of you.
Envelope. This must be the envelope.
And just so you know, I won't be answering any questions about what you find inside.
What?
Don't worry, just get on with it.
Monokuma's cryptic words didn't make me feel any better, but I picked up the envelope. And I opened it. What I found was a single photograph. There was a bunch of faces I recognized extremely well. It was everyone who'd come to Hope's Peak at the same time as me. Wait, but there's someone behind Sayaka. She's the only one I don't recognize. Wait, that's not true. I do recognize her. That's right, when Byakuya and I were in the Headmaster's room, we had to look for that file. Mukuro Ikusaba? Why is Junko's face covered? Yeah, because of Taka having to salute. And this girl is... Why? Why is Makoto here with everyone else? Even more than that, just having everyone here posed like this is weird enough by itself. And we're all wearing matching uniforms. I don't remember anything like this. Well, most of us are. And now that I'm looking at it, it's not even everyone. I'm not in the picture. I'm the only one not here. The picture has all 15 other students, but not me. I guess that makes sense. After all, I don't remember ever taking a picture like this. I went to junior high with Sayaka, but the first time I met everyone else was when we arrived at Hope's Peak Academy. So it's natural for me to not be in this picture, but what's definitely unnatural is that everyone else is in the picture. I mean, it could be as simple as Makoto was the one who took the photograph. thought everyone was like me and didn't know each other until they got here. But if this picture is real, then could that mean... Could it be? Everyone else and just me? Everyone here except me is... How are you gonna keep up this rambling soliloquy of yours, Hamlet? True, Junko's face is covered.
What are you gonna do?
You're kind of getting in the way standing there, you know? So I mean, get out!
But
I told you, I'm not fielding any questions.
I'm being
What kind of mystery would this be if I gave you all the answers? That'd be totally out of left field.
I guess that means he's done talking. Damn it. It's like in your handbook. So in the end, all I found in the gym was even more confusion. And with that confusion in hand, I left the gym dejected. I mean, really, it makes sense. The logical answer to why Makoto's not in the picture is that he's the one that took it. That's easy. How does it count as a hint? It just made me even more confused. Is that what Monokuma was looking for? Did he put together a fake photo just to confuse me? But it looks so real, so full of life. How could anyone fake that? Which could mean everyone but me. Maybe I should just ask everyone directly. I should clear all this up. No, I have to clear this all up. Let's get to the dining hall. It's gonna be the fastest way to get to everyone, right? Or am I going to have to go back to doing this one by one? He got into school after the picture was taken. Chihiro looks kind of hot in that pic, not gonna lie. Yeah, Chihiro always looks cute though. I got a crush on the boy. Totally. He's adorable. Alright, is everyone here? Who doesn't? You know, like how you transfer schools and everyone else knows each other from the previous year. Oh, that's also a thing. Because yeah, Makoto was lucky to get in. So this is where you've been hiding. Listen, I was wanting to talk to you. Makoto! Sorry, gotta go. What? Stop. Peanut, why don't you talk to me? They all suspect me again. Really? Really? Where else is everybody? Maybe everyone's back where they were? Come on. One of you has to talk to me. Oh, am I in the wrong room? Gave me a highlight in here. Oh, for the archive. Whoops. Yeah, because if they're in the school records, that actually would make a lot of sense now that I think about it. So what the heck? Well, Byakuya, you're not gonna fall for this, are you? Oh, Byakuya! Listen, do you think we could talk? Byakuya!
That's enough.
I have nothing to talk to you about. Don't talk to me as if we're friends. Yaki, wait! What the? He's purposely trying to avoid me. Simply got to school after the picture was taken. That's my theory. Wow. So the whole point of that was to try and set it up to make Makoto look like the mastermind in the end. I hate it. Alright. Well... Hey, hero! Ah! Why they would cover Junko's face? Because Taka's enthusiastic? Makoto! What's going on with you? Every time I see you, you freak out like that. No! No! Sorry, man, but I'm in a big hurry. Once again, he ran off like a terrified rabbit. You know, what's wrong? He was afraid of me. Why? Let me guess, Toko's still in the dojo? Nope. Well, what the crap? Come on. I decided to visit the biolab one more time. The first thing I saw when I got there was her, passed out again. Huh? Toko? Oh, she figured out how to open the door. Oh, no! She's not dead, is she? It's cold. It's super cold. It's so cold. I think I might catch a cold. If you keep taking naps in places like this, I'm sure you will. What? Was I asleep? I must have fainted again. I bet you were standing there staring at me, getting all excited, weren't you? No. Yeah, she has a fear of blood. It wasn't.
Oh,
then what? Hot and bothered. Straight up horny.
Okay, so why did you pass out?
I don't know. Last thing I remember was waking up. No. What? What did you do to Miss Morose?
Oh, that's right. Your memory stops and starts each time you switch.
Bingo bazinga! We share much of the basic knowledge, but our memories are very much separate. Huh. And don't say it like it's a bad thing. It's a blessing as far as I'm concerned.
Come to think of it, wouldn't Toko know something if their memories were all...
Huh. Because even if she forgets something, I totally remember. So it's like double the memory.
No, it's more like half. Genocide Jack's memory has been added to the truth bullet section.
Huh? What I want to know right now is where's my little darling? Tell me now or I'll slit your throat.
I don't know, I'm sure Byakuya is around somewhere doing his own investigating. You know, getting Red Dead online this one day. Hey there, James Wicked. How you doing?
Yes.
By himself?
I assume so.
I knew it. I totally knew it. I'm a pro when it comes to all things master. Anyway, I gotta go hurry. I can't even imagine how lonely he must be right now.
Okay. Toko shot off, her eerie laughter echoing behind her. I totally forgot to ask her about the picture. There's no point in asking Genocide Jack anyway. Besides, I have more important things to do right now. Why did Toko faint? There's gotta be a reason for it. Because there's a body! Fridge, it's open! She's cute, but she'll probably kill me. I'm doing good. Glad to hear. I'm sure they were all shut tight last time I was here. That must be why she passed out.
Right.
She faints so easily. Kyoko!
Makoto.
It's getting late, isn't it? You... okay.
Indeed.
I'm sorry if I made you worry. No, you don't have to apologize. Listen, about this room. Oh yeah, it's a morgue. Yeah.
I knew it.
I suspected as much. And Toko must have looked inside the fridge to see what was there, and, well, there you have it. You knew she'd fainted?
Indeed.
I was on my way here when Genocide Jack came running past me. I assumed she must have sneezed, but once I got inside, the real reason became clear.
It would seem...
I can imagine she came in here to investigate, and when she opened the slot here, that's when she saw the body inside and dropped like a bag of rocks. Why's everything gotta be so difficult with her?
Anyway,
we should close it up. Don't want to leave it hanging open like that. Yeah.
Makoto.
Well, give me a hand with this. Her hands outstretched, but suddenly she stopped. What's wrong?
Listen.
Maybe we should wait a second before closing it. Because Mukuro's body is in here. Yeah! Body is inside the
I
fridge?
see.
Just like every other time, the Mastermind probably brought it up here while we were in the class trial. Mastermind did it. Because they assumed we wouldn't be doing the class trial over again, I guess.
So...
You may be right. Either way, now I can finally get a good look at the body. Kyoko didn't have a chance to check the body during the last investigation.
Makoto.
I need to do my own examination of the corpse as soon as possible. I'm going to find a clue this time, and I'm going to grab the Mastermind by the tail. Okay, so what should I do?
So then...
Why don't you just wait over there? I'll tell you as soon as I'm finished. Just wait over there. That's it. Ooh. That's it. Sorry, my roommate just messaged me letting me know there's pizza on the way. That's it. The lo mein that I was gonna eat for the actual dinner today expired. Oops. Kyoko about the group photo. After all, she's in it too. Don't let me interrupt your investigation, but I want to talk to you about something. What is it? It's about the announcement Monokuma made earlier. You mean the one about the hint or something? I didn't take him up on the offer. Why not?
Because...
The only reason he'd give us a hint at this point would be to confuse us or to cloud our judgment. And solve this mystery on my own without whatever hints he may have to offer. That's a good point. Wish I could go back and do the same thing, but what's done is done, I guess. Standing here looking at her? I don't think she's hiding anything from me. Is she right? Did the Mastermind forge that picture as a trap to confuse us? That's gotta be it. There's no other explanation. Dude, I can't look inside. You coward! Yeah, things the way they are right now. Tarp somewhere before. Yeah, we figured that out. It's the same tarp that was used over there. Lots of tarps in this game. Lab over here. Cool. I just now put that together? Really? Instruction manual. More importantly... refrigerator, a bunch of blue lights are on.
It would
These are...
seem...
Comes on when a slot is occupied. So when someone's in here, a blue light comes on. Looking around, the number of lights are on, including Mukuro's. There's 9 in all. 9 lights? Hold on. Yeah! Wouldn't there be 10?
Whew.
Okay, Makoto, I'm done. Hey, jeez, that was fast. Anyone can get a good work. Can do good work if they go slow. In that spirit, I'll make my report brief. So, did you find anything?
Indeed.
I paid careful attention to the wounds and traces of blood, and it seems highly likely that the stomach wound and blow to the back of the head were inflicted after death. Really? The burnt tissue made things a little difficult, but I'm completely confident in my findings. So that means neither of those were the fatal injury, right? Then what was the fatal injury? Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time through a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. My only other option is that those other wounds, but the file said they were
Is
old.
that right?
Where does it say they're old?
Because...
Well, the Monokuma file says that they were inflicted at least several days ago. Thank you for the lurk, Ember Flame. I appreciate that. I guess I don't see the difference.
Wrong.
Well, the difference is immense considering the impression they give.
Listen.
You seem to be equating several days old with simply old.
However...
That doesn't quite follow logically. Old wounds make it sound like they've been there forever, like they're not related to the murder. You saying they are? But we all got the Monokuma file after she was killed, right? So if the wounds were at least a few days old, there's no way they could have had anything to do with it.
So then,
But what if Mukuro herself wasn't killed within the last few days?
at the very least...
Certainly you can allow it as one of many possibilities, can't you? One of many.
Right.
A detective doesn't have supernatural powers. There's no way to predict the answer from the beginning. I really, really, really think that this has something to do with the way Junko died. It's too convenient. And it fits. Instead, the ideal detective begins by imagining as many possible scenarios as they can.
In other words...
They envision the possibilities without prejudice, without bias, using only their logic and common sense. And then as they investigate, they test what they find against each of those possibilities. Of course, me telling you this doesn't mean you'll be any good at detective work. But beyond using that to solve this particular mystery, you should keep it in mind for the future. Huh.
Hey,
So if there's anything you'd like to know about the condition of the body, now's the time. There's one thing. Earlier when I was looking at Makuro's profile, it listed her height and weight.
so...
5 foot 7 inches, 97 pounds, vitals were 31, 22, 32. Did I get that all right? You remembered all that? They are indeed consistent with the corpse.
Indeed.
So, don't forget about the Fenrir tattoo. There's absolutely no mistake.
Indeed.
Our victim, in this case, without a doubt, Makuro Ikusaba.
And?
Is that all you wanted to ask?
So then...
Further business with Mukuro's body. Let's get going. It's kind of chilly in here. Oh wait, we're not gonna put the body back? I think it's kind of sad leaving her out like this. Sad? Did you forget? She was our enemy once. A part of the ultimate despair. But she still got killed. She's still a victim.
Hey,
Have you ever heard the phrase, you reap what you sow? Well, yeah, but still.
whew.
You really are naive, you know that? It's really quite appalling. But she could have abandoned me. She could have abandoned me, but she decided to help me instead. So for someone like that, what does it mean to be naive?
So then...
I think we've done all we can do here. Back to our separate investigations, yes? Hold on! There's one more thing I still have to do. Something I need to talk to Kyoko about. I need to ask her about the pocketbook I found in the locker. If I don't do it now... Hey Kyoko, I did have one last thing. I know I shouldn't, but I feel I have to ask. Go on then, out with it. Have you really not seen your dad even once since you got here?
What? So...
What do you mean? Well, you know all those lockers on the second floor of the dorms? I do, yes. But to get into any of those lockers, you'd need the handbook of whoever the locker belongs to. Actually, I managed to get them open using the emergency handbook.
I see.
The one you found in the headmaster's hidden room.
And?
Welcome back, Ember. I think you need a stretch. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, did you find anything worthwhile in the lockers? I found a pocketbook, and after looking through it, I think it must be your pocketbook.
Why is that?
What makes you say that?
Because...
Like I said, only the locker's owner should be able to get into it, right? Can't imagine those lockers belong to any of us. After all, we only got access to that area just recently. What I'm saying is, there's no way I could have had access to any of those lockers. And if I did have a pocketbook, why would I bother putting it in a locker? Everything you said makes perfect sense, but there was something written inside. It was about the Headmaster. About your father.
What? If that's true...
Could that mean that video is real too? Video?
Makoto.
I think everything is finally starting to fit together to reveal a cohesive picture. Although I'm afraid that picture might be worse than anything we could have imagined. What are you talking about? I need to go investigate those lockers. Right now. I need to confirm what you just said with my own 2 eyes. No, let me give you the Headmaster's Handbook. That way you can... That won't be necessary. If I'm right about this, I shouldn't have a problem opening the locker with my own handbook. After all, it would seem that it's my locker. My locker.
Makoto.
If you watch this, it'll all make sense. Class 78 Urgent DVD. It says Class 78 Urgent Interviews.
So...
What I found it in that hidden room after you left.
Anyway...
I don't have time to explain exactly what I think it means, so just watch it and see for yourself. I think you'll realize exactly what it means. You'll understand why you found my pocketbook in a place none of us have ever seen before. None of this makes sense right now. Actually, it all makes sense. Someone messed with your memories.
Makoto.
Oh, and now it's my turn. Do you have a second to listen to me ramble?
In other words...
So as it turns out, the arrangements I'd made didn't stick. What I mean is, I'm less and less sure of everything, even my own feelings. You're talking about your dad, right? I can never find the answers to questions I wanted to ask for the rest of my life. And all because of the Mastermind.
However...
But there's one thing I am sure of. When it comes to the Mastermind, there's no room in my heart for forgiveness. I swore to destroy the Mastermind. This is just one more reason to follow through on that. Because I was burned with the fire of determination. The determination to defeat the Mastermind. It's strange to be confronted with his death and suddenly feel this way. I couldn't care less if my father had found happiness.
Why?
So why does it bother me so much to know how he suffered? Undertale reference. Didn't this game come out before Undertale, question mark? It's ridiculous. There's no understanding it, I guess. She let out a small laugh as she said it. I said determinate. Oh, it said determination. But her smile was filled with sorrow. That's it for my rambling. There's still so much to do before I consider my task complete. Yeah, you're right.
Hey.
But keep this in mind. There's only ever one absolute truth. Bleh, I can't English. Whether that truth serves justice or suffering. Whether it's the greatest truth or the worst.
Makoto.
Even if the truth you uncover is filled with hopelessness, you still can't give up hope. Absolutely not, because all I can do is keep moving forward. That's pretty much all I'm good at, you know? Indeed. Sorry if that was strange.
So then...
Anyway, I need to get going. I'll see you at the class trial. Leaving behind with that final farewell, Kyoko was gone. I'd better get going myself. I got the DVD from Kyoko. I should head to the AV room to check it out. Kyoko said something about hopeless truth. Well, no matter what happens, I won't lose hope. Even if it's the worst truth in the world. I can't afford to lose. Danganronpa's 1 year older than Undertale. That's what I thought. Alright, so all the way down to the first floor, right? Right around here. Bingo. It's just what's happening. Should be able to play DVDs just fine. Well, I better take a look. Let me put in the player. It said it was playing, but nothing appeared on the screen. I stared into the black monitor. Must have only been a few seconds. But to me, it felt like an eternity. And then all of a sudden, an image appeared. Sayaka? Guys, I hadn't seen Sayaka in who knows how long, and there she was.
Okay then, are you ready to begin?
Heard of the man positioned on one side of the screen. It was the voice of a middle-aged man.
I do apologize, but I hope you don't mind if I record our conversation. I'm a little slow, you know. I never really got the hang of taking notes while having a conversation.
Sounded like he was trying to make a joke, but Sayaka's tense face didn't move a single millimeter.
This video is meant to serve as a kind of contract substitute. It's not that I don't trust you guys. It's more like insurance. So please don't worry too much. Now then, let me get straight to the point. There is a chance that you may have to spend the rest of your life here in the school. Can you accept that?
You want me to accept that? Sayaka was obviously at a total loss. It made total sense. Who would agree to spending the rest of your life in this school? Accept. What?
Thank you. And I'm sorry about all this. Well, I can promise you that I will do everything in my power to keep you safe. As the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, I give you my word.
As if on cue, that's where the video cut out. There's a lot I didn't understand until now. But this, only this, I simply couldn't comprehend what I just heard. Because I know how much Sayaka wanted to get out of here. I know how much she wanted to escape and pursue her dreams with her friends again. She wanted that so bad she tried to frame me for murder. So why would she say yes to living here for the rest of her life? As I sat there thinking about it, I noticed a sudden light. On the monitor, the video that I thought was finished flashed back on screen. My eyes darted back to the screen. And if I was confused before, what I saw next pushed me right over the edge. Huh? What I saw was me. Impossibly, undeniably me.
So, Makoto, before we begin, I should let you know that I'll be recording our conversation.
Yes.
Me and the headmaster were looking at each other. He and I were having what seemed like a fairly normal conversation. But then, the I in the here and now had absolutely no memory of it. I had no memory of ever meeting the headmaster, much less sitting down to talk with him like this.
Now, shall we get straight to the point? Makoto, there's a chance you may have to spend the rest of your life here in the school. Can you accept that?
Yes.
This can't be real. I said
I'm sorry
yes?
I'm putting you through all this.
Well, I mean, we don't have much of a choice, do we?
But I promise that as long as you're in this school, I will do everything I can to protect you. As the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, that's the very least I can do for you.
So the headmaster was trying to keep us safe, which is why the mastermind killed him off immediately, and that's how the killing game began. To keep the headmaster from getting out of the way, or from getting in the way. Byakuya? Toko? Hina? Everyone. They all said that they agreed to live in the school forever. And then... Kyoko. Her interview with him had been recorded just as clearly. Without a doubt, she had met him. She sat down with the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, her father. When he asked her his question, she answered the same as everyone else. She accepted a life within the school. Just as Kyoko's interview was wrapping up, the monitor suddenly went black. Huh? It wasn't just the monitor. The DVD player itself had apparently turned off. Which of course meant the DVD wasn't playing anymore. That just happened.
Say what?
Oopsie! Looks like it broke! Out of service!
What?
It just so happened to break just now?
Too bad.
Now then, when, doesn't matter. Failure can strike anywhere, anytime. That's what failure is, right?
Failure my ass. You cut the power on purpose. Well, whatever. Even if I wanted to watch the whole thing, it'd just be more of the same. You'd ask them the question, they'd all say yes. I couldn't help myself, but I let out a huge exasperated sigh. As I did, I remembered something.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At the time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened completely by chance. It seems much too convenient. A convenient outcome. Something that seemed to obviously work in favor of the mastermind. So does that mean I've lost my memory too? What about the others? Have we all forgotten? Or...
For anything that has a start, there has to be an end. And if the end comes, then that means it's time for a fresh start. There is no night that doesn't have a dawn. Although that dawn is totally pitch black, there is no storm that won't eventually end. Of course, then that leads to drought. But as I said, every end is the promise of a new beginning. Which is why I'm sure we'll get to meet again, because the end is only the beginning. Anyway, let's get started. The beginning of the end of the class trial. Everyone gather once again at you know where.
It's about to begin again. The class trial's going to start. The final class trial. The last time all our lives will be on the line. The last time hope and despair are on the line. I don't have a choice. I have to do this. Okay then. This is the end. You know what that means, guys. I guess I'm the first one this time. You're early, Makoto.
Listen.
Does that mean you feel prepared? Yeah, for now at least. Where's everyone else? Why aren't they here yet?
However,
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be here soon. And just like she said... Byakuya! Byakuya? They arrived one after another, but they were all in the same state of shock. Mina? Hero? Silence. And it wasn't any normal silence. It was the deafening silence of fear and suspicion. It was like the first class trial.
you called for me and so I am here.
I'm late!
I'm on
Strong silent master, so wonderful, so cool, so hot, my loins are ablaze. Now listen, everything will be just fine if you just leave it to me.
my beautiful scissors.
With my scissors, sharp scissors in hand, I'll stab and gouge and shiv the master of evil.
But I thought you couldn't kill anyone but adorable little boys.
If it's what master wants, it can be a boy, girl, or anything in between. I can handle it.
Where am I? Damn it. No human language can describe the disappointment I'm feeling right now.
Is everyone here? Oh, and wearing our gloomy ghost faces, I see.
Well now.
Okay, well then, let's begin.
Thrills, chills, kills.
This final class trial is gonna be slathered in pitch black despair, maximum sorrow.
That's fine.
Kyoko, what a mood. You're right, this is the final class trial. And this time, it will be fair.
What do you mean, this time? Stop Stop with all the slander. I'm a bear in good standing, you know. If there was a Mr. Fair Guy Universe contest, I'd take home the tiara every year. I'm gonna win this game super fair and square. I'll make sure everyone watching at home knows that despair is mightier than the hope.
Stop talking.
Enough of your tedious dribble. Begin the trial already.
Sure. Let's begin the trial already. I'll be waiting for you down below.
Guys.
So don't try and run away.
Laughing as loud as ever, Monokuma disappeared. Whatever.
In the name of my family.
This will be over in no time. With inexplicable confidence, Byakuya was the first into the elevator. One by one, the others followed. Nobody made eye contact. Nobody said a word. They just disappeared into the elevator.
Hey,
They're all acting odd, like they're paranoid and suspicious of each other.
however,
But you know why that is, don't you? Yeah, I think so.
however.
Well, you can tell us all about it soon. At the class trial. You're right. I'm ready.
So,
Ready to win, right? Of course. I'm glad to hear you say that. And then Kyoko was aboard the elevator. I started making my way towards the opening, step after step toward that gaping maw. I'd resolved this would be the last time. I repeated to myself that there was no fear, no mystery left. I pushed the anxiety down, calmed my trembling body, and finally, on steady legs, I passed the threshold and stood in the elevator. Without warning, it began to descend. Deeper and deeper. Deeper, deeper, and deeper still. Deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper it fell. I closed my eyes, and sight fell away. All sound too disappeared. Alone in the universe, I waited for the elevator doors to open for the last time. What could have been seconds or centuries later. I felt the gentle vibration of the elevator come to an end. I slowly opened my eyes. This is the final trial site?
What do you think? Isn't this just perfect background for deciding your person's fate? It's the long-awaited last stage, the always exciting final boss battle. And I'm gonna sit in on this one. I'll just sit right here in the vacant 16th seat.
Chills!
Totally not me restarting my island. Oh, Animal Crossing?
Well then, let's begin!
You want to save your data? Yep. And y'all know what that means. For the folks on YouTube, we'll be seeing the final case trial go down in the next episode. Until then, this is Cheshire the Cat, signing off.